anything. Okay. First of all, I enjoyed your presentation. I just want to kind of ask you about some of the things that you talked about. First of all, the way you see current fuels that we use as more of a bridge to what the future will provide.
Well, no doubt we're still going to be dependent upon oil and natural gas for the foreseeable future. You know, a big part of our resources that we rely upon are fossil fuels, oil, natural gas. Think of that as more of a bridge to where we need to go. But where we need to go eventually is develop these alternative energy sources, more solar, wind, some tidal and wave power. But clearly the biofuel sector is the one that I'm probably most excited about. And particularly for Louisiana, where we have a great deal of biomass that we could access and convert to diesel, propane, and a number of fuels that would give us some alternatives to what we're at right now.
You made reference during your presentation, and I heard you talking with some other people about just the entrepreneurship that's at work just here in Louisiana alone, developing different technologies which most people don't even know about at this point.
You know, I come across companies all the time here in the state of Louisiana that are working from everything from algae to convert that into energy, to wood chips, to bagasse, to compost, to capture the methane from landfills, to convert animal waste to fuel. And so there is a lot of entrepreneurship going on in the state of Louisiana, and it makes sense. We're the energy capital of the country.
And you were talking about how we should really be promoting the state as such as well.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I'd like to see is that we're going to need an infrastructure to access these things, and ethanol is a good example of this. We can produce ethanol fuel, but getting it to the market. We can produce some of these biofuels, but how do we access it in terms of getting it into, say, fleets, to commercial vehicles? And so there still needs to be a public-private partnership to access this infrastructure.
I guess if one thing positive has come out of the high energy prices that we have is it's totally, no pun intended, fueled the whole debate and the whole discussion about this.
It's high energy prices that have actually made older technologies viable again. I mean, many of the technologies we're talking about today as alternative, solar, wind, they've been around for 100+ years. Accessing tidal powers, that's been around, but it's never been commercially viable. Making fuel out of dead biomass, there's nothing novel to it. The Germans were doing that in the 1920s. What is novel today is that the price structure makes it possible, makes it viable to create fuel at an economical price.
How do the oil companies or the current energy companies factor into all this? Because we hear there's no incentive really for them maybe to be involved, or is there?
You have to think of the current oil and gas companies that exist today as energy companies. BP, for example, is one of the biggest investors in green and alternative energy in the world. Royal Dutch Shell, the same thing. You're going to see more and more U.S. companies, small, medium, large U.S. companies, think of themselves, refigure themselves as an energy company, moving away slightly from primarily oil and gas.
And then the exciting news that we're hearing up about Haynesville. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, the Haynesville shale find is remarkable. It's the 4th largest natural gas find on the planet. Many people think that it has the ability to impact natural gas prices $2–3 per cubic foot. This is huge stuff. You're talking about something that could fundamentally alter natural gas. But again, this is just a bridge to where we ultimately need to go, and that is developing the alternatives, the renewable fuels.